Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the latest headlines. Congress likely to release first list of candidates for Bihar. BJP could bring out its last list of 7 names. BJP distances itself from RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat's call for quota review, says it does not support reconsideration of constitutional provision for reservation. India sends out stern message to Pakistan and China, says the terrorism, infiltration and border transgression must be stopped for better relations. Hungary's parliament passes new legislation allowing army to control borders. This as intense diplomatic activity over EU migrant crisis begins. And after the horrific accident, the Hajj pilgrimage to begin today. Nearly 3 million devotees expected to pour into Mecca. Well, our top focus is the preparations for the Bihar elections. Well, the Congress is likely to release its first list of candidates today for the polls. The party is contesting in 41 seats and it has finalized candidates for around 15 of them. The first phase of polls will be held on 12th of October and the last day of filing nominations is Wednesday. The candidate list was finalized after a meeting of the Central Election Committee chaired by Party Chief Sonia Gandhi yesterday. The BJP is also likely to announce the names of remaining 7 candidates for the polls. It has so far announced candidates for 153 of the 160 assembly seats that it is contesting. And Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav will address in Patna today a joint function of the workers of the Samajwadi Party, the NCP, and the other parties that is being touted as the third front. After his party exited Lalu Nitish-led Grand Alliance over seat sharing, this would be the first visit by any Samajwadi Party leader to the poll-bound state of Bihar. Now, Samajwadi Party had teamed up with 5 parties, NCP, Jan Adhikar Party of Papu Yadav, Samras Samaj Party of former Union Minister Nagmani, Nationalist People's Party of former Speaker P.A. Sangma, and the Samajwadi Janata Party of former Union Minister Devendra Prasad Yadav to contest as the third front in the upcoming assembly polls. And on to the other alliance, that is the NDA alliance. Well, the LJP and the RLSP announced the list of candidates on Monday. With this announcement, LJP has announced the names of 21 of its 40 candidates, while this was RLSP's first list with 17 names. Both the announcements came with a fair bit of controversy. Here are the details.
The Lok Janshakti Party announced candidates for 9 more seats for the Bihar Assembly elections on Monday. With this, the party has announced names for 21 of the 40 seats allotted to it as part of the NDA's seat-sharing agreement. The party has selected former MP and strongman Kali Pandey from Kuchaikot and Vijay Singh from the Chakai Assembly seat. It was at loggerheads with Jatin Ram Manjhi's HAM over the Chakai seat.
40 सीटें ऐसी हैं जिस पर लोक जनशक्ति पार्टी अपने प्रत्याशी उतारेगी, अपने सिंबल मंगला छाप पर हम लोग चुनाव लड़ेंगे। आज मैं 9 प्रत्याशियों की दूसरी सूची जारी कर रहा हूं, जिसमें कि प्रथम चरण में हमारे जितने भी उम्मीदवार हैं वो इस सूची में कंप्लीट हो जाते हैं। इसमें से 6 उम्मीदवार हमारे ऐसे हैं जो कि प्रथम चरण के हैं और बाकी एक द्वितीय का, एक तृतीय का और एक चौथे चरण का है।
The announcement comes in the midst of reports of internal bickering. There was much hue and cry over Anil Kumar Sadhu, who is Ram Vilas Paswan's son-in-law, being denied a ticket. But the party says it is a family matter.
क्योंकि ये पारिवारिक मसला है, मैं इसको सार्वजनिक मंच पर मैं इसका वाद विवाद में मैं नहीं उलझूंगा। वो मुझसे बड़े हैं, मैं उस रिश्ते का, अपने परिवार की इज्जत का, दोनों का मैं सम्मान करता हूं। इस पर मैं कोई सार्वजनिक टिप्पणी नहीं करूंगा।
Another NDA ally, Rashtriya Lok Samta Party, also announced the first list of 17 candidates. This announcement was also mired in controversy as party chief Upendra Kushwaha expressed his displeasure over BJP keeping the Meenapur seat for itself.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने कहा कि हमारी सिटिंग सीट है, इसलिए हम नहीं दे सकते। आप अगर सिटिंग के नाम पर मेरे दावा को नहीं मान रहे हैं तो कोई बात नहीं है, अच्छी बात है, सिटिंग है इसलिए लड़ाई है। लेकिन बाद में ऐसा नहीं हो कि सिटिंग के नाम पर आप सीट अपने खाते में लीजिए और बाद में कोई दूसरे व्यक्ति को लड़ा दीजिए।
RLSP's announcement also saw protests by those who were denied tickets. Voting for the 49 seats in the first phase will take place on October 12th. Elections are to be held in 5 phases, with the result being announced on November 8th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in other news, RSS has called for a review of the reservation policy, slamming the quota system as a political tool. Though BJP ruled out any changes, RSS chief's remarks were criticized by the opposition parties, renewing calls to release the caste census data. In Bihar, parties like the JDU and RJD have been breaking up the caste factor in their rallies in the run-up to the assembly polls.
Caste remains a dominant factor in the Bihar Assembly elections, and the forthcoming Assembly poll promises. Parties have been wiping up the caste sentiment in rallies across the state. RSS added a bit of fuel to that. Its chief Mohan Bhagwat suggested a review of the reservation policy. Referring to the quota stir in Gujarat led by Hardik Patel, Bhagwat suggested a committee of civil society members to decide who should get the benefit of the policy. His remarks had a ripple effect in Bihar, where parties have been calling for the release of latest caste census data. They slammed Bhagwat's suggestions and also targeted the Modi government. However, BJP steered clear of controversy.
The BJP is not in favor of any reconsideration of the reservation being extended to these groups, namely the SC, the ST, the backward caste and extremely backward caste, as enshrined in the Constitution.
चंद लोगों को खुश करने के लिए, अभिजात वर्ग को, ऊंची जाति के लोगों को खुश करने के लिए ऐसे समय में जब बिहार का चुनाव होने जा रहा है, आपने इस तरह का कुंठित प्रयास आप कंस्पिरेसी करना चाहते हैं.
Why isn't this Modi government releasing the caste census? I challenge them to release the caste census, and the whole world will come to know what is the actual reality, and then the OBCs will decide, because the true face of this government is slowly coming out, that they are wanting Hindu consolidation to ensure that OBC reservation and other reservation comes down.
जो लोग भारत की एकता और अखंडता को तोड़ना चाहते हैं, जिनका संवैधानिक संस्थाओं में विश्वास कम है, वो लोग और वो संस्थाएं ही इस तरह के वक्तव्य देने पर तुली हुई हैं.
Janta Parivar is aiming to consolidate the backward class votes that had propelled Chief Minister Nitish Kumar to power. Both Nitish and his ally RJD Chief Lalu Prasad have proposed Mandal 2.0 politics in an attempt to keep BJP and its allies out of power in the state. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, you can get all the news and updates on Bihar Assembly elections in our program Verdict 2015 at 10 a.m. on Rajya Sabha TV. Let's move on in the bulletin now. Well, India has sent out a strong message to its neighbours that terrorism and border transgressions have to stop for better relations. Now, this message has been conveyed by Home Minister Rajnath Singh during his 3-day visit to forward areas in Jammu and Ladakh.
India's stern message to its neighbours.
ट्रांसग्रेशन जो हो रहा है वह भी रुकना चाहिए. भारत का जहां तक प्रश्न है, एक शांत प्रिय देश है. हम तो केवल अपनी सीमाओं की रक्षा करना चाहते हैं.
Home Minister Rajnath Singh underlining India's stand that the work towards better relations with neighbours cannot be a one-way affair. Rajnath Singh said this after inaugurating the newly constructed Indo-Tibetan border police camp in Samba in Jammu and Kashmir. He, however, struck a conciliatory note saying that peace in the continent hinges on good neighbourly relations in the subcontinent.
चीन, पाकिस्तान दोनों से संबंध सुधारना चाहते हैं और जब तक दोनों से हमारे अच्छे संबंध नहीं सुधरेंगे तब तक एशियाई महाद्वीप में कभी शांति स्थापित नहीं हो सकती और एशियाई महाद्वीप में विकास का मार्ग भी प्रशस्त नहीं हो सकता है.
The Home Minister also stressed on the need for dialogue with both Pakistan and China to resolve all outstanding issues.
चाइना का प्रश्न है और चाइना ही नहीं बल्कि मैं यह मानता हूं कि जितने भी हमारे पड़ोसी देश हैं सभी पड़ोसी देशों के साथ हम अपने बेहतर रिश्ते चाहते हैं, दिली रिश्ते चाहते हैं.
Singh, however, said that India will not compromise on its dignity when it comes to defending its people at the border who are targets of incessant border skirmishes.
मैं देशवासियों को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि भारत के मान सम्मान स्वाभिमान के साथ कोई समझौता हमारी सरकार नहीं करेगी.
The Home Minister is on a 3-day tour of forward areas along the borders with Pakistan and China, including Chumar in eastern Ladakh, which saw a fortnight-long standoff between Indian and Chinese troops a year ago. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Home Minister will continue with his visit to the forward areas today as well, and a look at what else is expected through the day in day ahead. Supreme Court will hear arguments on Sanjeev Bhatt's petition, asking it to monitor all FIRs registered against him by the Gujarat police. Now, Bhatt, who had taken on the Gujarat government over its handling of the 2002 riots, has been dismissed from service last month for flouting rules with complete disregard to discipline. A Makoka court will hear arguments by the defence lawyers of the 12 convicts of the Mumbai train blast case for seeking leniency for them. Trial Judge Yatin Shinde is hearing arguments on the quantum of punishment for the serial blasts in local trains in Mumbai on 11th of July 2006 that killed 188 people. The Supreme Court will hear Haryana government's plea for vacating the stay on enforcing the new educational norms for candidates contesting the ongoing panchayat elections in the state. On Monday, Supreme Court bench had refused to vacate a stay on the new amended rules to contest panchayat elections in Haryana. President Pranab Mukherjee will host tea for the veterans of 1965 war in Rashtrapati Bhavan Cultural Centre today. The party is being organised to felicitate the veterans who fought in the 1965 India-Pakistan war. And in breakfast news, we'll take a very short break. But coming up after that, the annual Hajj pilgrimage to begin today after the tragic accident at Mecca. We'll get you all the details on that and much more. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire, stories of social change. A salute to diversity, promoting public discourse. Events that motivate, inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries every Friday at 10:30 p.m, Saturday 12:30 p.m, and Sunday at 1 p.m.
As science beckons India into the future. Rajya Sabha Television. Rajya Sabha Television, democracy at work.
Welcome back. Now, the top officials of India and the United States met in Washington for the conference on US-India strategic and commercial dialogue. US Vice President Joe Biden hailed the bilateral relationship between the two nations. Biden said that there is unlimited potential for the growth in bilateral trade relations, but he insisted that India needs to first enact critical economic reforms. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj said that India-US relations were succeeding based on shared values. The conference comes 2 days ahead of the Prime Minister Modi's arrival in the United States for the United Nations General Assembly.
There's so much potential for trade and investment. There's no reason why we can't multiply, as the doctor pointed out, our overall trade and exports to India and our investments in India by a factor of 5 or more over the next decade. But we need to see more reforms, quite frankly. As I said to President Modi, Prime Minister Modi, and his predecessor.
Today, our relations with the United States are defined by a natural synergy of democracies and easy identification among our peoples. We are both open societies which value education and enterprise. Institutions in both India and the United States, the executive, legislature, political parties and businesses pulsate with the same values and beliefs.
Well, on to our big international focus. Well, at the week of intense diplomatic activity surrounding the EU migrant crisis, now Hungary advocated for tougher measures to control the migrant inflow. Parliament has passed a new legislation allowing the army to control the borders. But despite deep divisions, there are some who are absolutely dedicated to reaching a solution. Here is more.
After closing its borders to the largest migrant wave in Europe, Hungary has sought the help of its army to protect its borders. Hungary's parliament passed a law allowing army to use non-lethal force to control the flow. It went on to say that the European borders are being threatened by migration.
Veszélybe kerültek határaink, veszélyben van a törvények tiszteletére épülő életformánk, veszélyben van Magyarország és egész Európa is.
Hungary has called for a united stand to stop the inflow of migrants. It has built a fence on the Siberian border and deployed regular patrols, leading to a drastic drop of migrants crossing it. Prime Minister Orbán reiterated that the migrant quotas proposed by Brussels were not a European action plan. Ministers from Poland, Czech Republic and Slovakia are also opposing the proposal.
A bevándorlók már nem csak dörömbölnek, de ránk is törik az ajtót. Nem néhány százan, nem néhány ezren, hanem több százezer, sőt millió bevándorló ostromolja Magyarország és Európa határait. Nem látni, hol a vége.
But there are some who are committed to helping the homeless. Germany and France are among those who back plans to share the burden of relocating 120,000 migrants from Greece, Italy and Hungary. Around 29,000 have arrived in Croatia from Serbia in the past week en route to other Schengen countries.
Gerade am Umgang mit den vielen Flüchtlingen, die nach Europa kommen, gilt, wir müssen beieinander bleiben. Wir müssen die Aufgaben, die sich uns unausweichlich stellen, miteinander angehen. Das ist unsere gemeinsame Verantwortung.
Tomorrow I will be in Brussels on meeting of the Ministers of Interior, and direct communication is absolutely broken because everyone is asking from the others, to take the problem on their shoulder, and Croatia was able on the first day to take the part of this flow, but now it is impossible, and that's why we are transiting them to the Schengen.
EU Interior and Justice Ministers will come together in Brussels to try and reach an agreement to take in people seeking asylum. They could also convene an extraordinary summit to ease out the divisions. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And news from Mexico now, where just days ahead of the one-year anniversary of the suspected massacre of 43 trainee teachers in the restive Mexican state, now students from that school attacked Guerrero State's Attorney General headquarters. Now, the violence emerged after Mexico said that it had caught one of the supposed masterminds, raising hopes that more will come into light in an incident that has so far been shrouded in mystery.
Just days ahead of the one-year anniversary of the suspected massacre of 43 trainee teachers in the restive Mexican state, angry students rampaged through Guerrero State's Attorney General headquarters, vandalizing offices and destroying furniture.
Está pidiendo respuestas de verdad y eso es lo que seguiremos insistiendo. Yo creo que en ese sentido nosotros los obispos de Guerrero lo expresamos en un comunicado recientemente y seguiremos insistiendo, o sea que necesitamos tener datos precisos en torno a la verdad y en torno a que quienes resulten.
The scene emerged in Guerrero after officials announced they have identified a possible match for a second victim in the last year's abduction case. Though the government says the students were abducted by corrupt police officers in southwest Mexico and handed over to members of a local drug gang who incinerated them at a garbage dump. Parents and fellow students are skeptical of the government's version of events. In October last year, Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto vowed to hunt down others involved in the apparent massacre.
Permanecer impune. En pocas palabras, no cabe, como lo señalé, el menor resquicio de impunidad. Tenemos que ir a profundidad y tope donde tope, llegar a los responsables, aquellos que por negligencia o por actuación permitieron o solaparon que esto hubiese ocurrido en Iguala.
The massacre of the poor rural students continues to pose problems for President Peña Nieto, who took office in 2012, vowing to stamp out years of drug-related violence. He has been criticized for his handling of the crisis and accused of trying to wrap up the case without a thorough investigation. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And close to 3 million Muslims from around the world are expected to pour in Mecca for the annual Hajj pilgrimage that begins today. The focus has, however, shifted to the pilgrims' safety and security in the wake of a crane accident recently that killed over 100 pilgrims. Now, Saudi authorities say that they are ready for any eventuality.
Hajj pilgrimage all set to begin. The Valley of Mina in Mecca all set to welcome Muslims from around the world who are pouring in for the day of Arafat, which falls on Wednesday. More than 1.3 million people have already arrived in Saudi Arabia. Up to 3 million are expected to visit the holy site for over 5 days. Elaborate security arrangements have been made. These include deployment of 1 lakh security personnel, members of elite counter-terrorism unit, traffic police and emergency civil defense personnel, installation of CCTV cameras and around-the-clock health service to receive suggestions and complaints.
الأساسية هنا في غرفة المراقبة التوازنية هي تغطية جميع المشاعر المقدسة بمواقع الكاميرات المنتشرة اللي 7000 كاميرا منتشرة على مستوى المشاعر المقدسة بما فيها الطيران العمودي، حيث يتم نقل صورة واضحة بما يحدث على أرض الميدان ويتم رصد وتوثيق أي حدث يحدث داخل الميدان.
The arrangements come in the backdrop of the recent crane accident at Mecca's Grand Mosque that killed at least 107 people, including 11 Indians. Special cars manned with medical teams are ready to transport the pilgrims injured in the crane collapse to holy sites. After the incident, the kingdom's military and police had put on a parade in Mecca, exhibiting their preparedness to deal with any eventuality.
مستوى التأهب في مواسم الحج دائما في أعلى درجاته بغض النظر عن وجود تهديدات من عدمه. لا نأخذ أي فرص، لا نسمح بأي فرص فيما يتعلق بمواسم الحج، سواء فيما يتعلق بالأمن أو ما يتعلق بالسلامة وحتى فيما يتعلق بتسهيل وتيسير أداء الحجاج لفريضتهم.
The 5-day pilgrimage will culminate with the symbolic stoning of Satan on Saturday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And some more international news and updates in World Wrap. Alexis Tsipras was sworn in as the Greek Prime Minister once again after his party's decisive election victory. Tsipras took a civil oath of allegiance to the Greek constitution. With the first review of the €86 billion bailout program due next month, Tsipras must work fast to recapitalize the banks while trying to stave off recession. The coup leader in Burkina Faso has said that he is ready to hand over power to the transitional civilian authorities based on the proposals of regional mediators. General Diendere also said that he was prepared to release abducted Prime Minister Zida as the army is marching on the capital. His whereabouts are unknown and there have been reports that he has taken refuge in the home of a traditional leader. Republican Governor Scott Walker of Wisconsin has abruptly pulled out of the 2016 U.S. presidential race amid dwindling contributions and plummeting poll numbers. He topped polls in the beginning of 2015 but lost popularity as Donald Trump began to dominate the race. He encouraged other underperforming Republican presidential candidates to also exit the race so voters will have a positive conservative alternative to Mr. Trump. At least 5 people were killed in an explosion outside the presidential palace in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. A report suggests that the attack might have been aimed at a United Nations convoy that left the palace just before the blast. There was no immediate claim of responsibility, but the Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab, which is trying to overthrow President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud's government, has stepped up attacks this month. Let's get you all the sporting action in Sports Beat. The Indian Wushu team fetched a rich haul of 1 gold, 4 silver and 7 bronze medals at the 5th International Wushu Cup in Tehran. El Buduchadra Singh won a gold medal in the 56 kg category, beating Masood Ansari of Iran in the final. Mukesh Chaudhary lost his final against Asian Games gold medalist Mohsen Sifi, while Rajani Diori went down to Sajaz Abbasi of Iran in the summit clash. 19 teams from 18 countries took part in this championship. India's Vishnuvardhan entered the second round of the TVS ITF Futures Tournament with a 7-5, 6-3 win over Jason Petrombon of the Philippines at the Madurai Union Club. Second seed Vishnuvardhan was leading 5-2 in the first set after breaking him in the 6th game. Now Petrombon held the serve in the 8th game. He broke up Vishnuvardhan in the next with a brilliant forehand and a backhand cross-court winner. BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy has filed a petition in the Madras High Court challenging Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals' suspension. In his petition, Swamy sought a stay of the order passed by Justice R.M. Lodha Committee, suspending the CSK and Rajasthan Royals from the league in a clean-up of the cricket following the 2013 betting scam allegedly involving their top officials Gurunath Mayappan and Raj Kundra. Trinidad and Tobago's Attorney General has signed authority to proceed documents clearing the way for extradition proceedings against ex-FIFA Vice President Jack Warner. Warner is wanted in the United States on corruption charges. He is among 9 officials of the World Football Body FIFA, along with 5 sports marketing executives indicted by the US prosecutors. He faces 12 charges related to racketeering and bribery. US authorities have asked for him to be extradited in order to face the changes. Warner was arrested on a provisional warrant in the month of May. Well, that's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. Have a great day ahead. Thanks for watching.